Hello everyone and welcome to the next in our series of daily origami for YouTube. Today we're going to take a little break from the traditional theme and feature another really cool design by David Wires. He makes so many neat designs all the time, lots of different cool containers and boxes, and he also has made the hummingbird that we shared with a while ago, as well as a kind of wind catcher. And this is actually kind of another sort of cool action origami that really makes a beautiful shape. And we're going to be just needing regular square origami paper for this project. It's recommended that you use something a little thicker, kind of like thick paper, stock paper that you use like for scrapbooking would work really great. Thicker, like if you're using origami paper, using tanto paper would be great too. The regular origami paper can turn out a little flimsy, so even just using printer paper might work out better for you depending on how things go. So I'm just going to show you guys with origami paper with a 15 by 15 centimeter piece, and that way you can kind of get an idea of how it works as we go along with everything. What we want to do here is we're going to start off with a piece of paper and we're just going to put some preliminary creases in it. What I want to do is put some diagonal creases, so I'll just go ahead and fold my paper in half into a big triangle both ways. Once you've got both of those creases marked off, then I just want to mark the center of all four sides. And you don't need to necessarily make the whole big crease here. If you want to just mark it and kind of limit how many crease marks you have in your finished project, then you can just kind of mark a little bit here. And do the same thing going this way too, by just folding it kind of in half and holding down on both sides with your fingers, and then just pinching up and down to give you those crease marks. Then if we go ahead and fold it in half one way here into a big triangle from that crease we made before, what I want to do is I'm going to take this top edge that you see here, we're going to roll it down. It's going to come right to the center there that we have there. You can kind of mark where that is. And it's going to line up with that little pinch crease we made. So I'm just going to make sure that that outer edge lines up with that. Make a really good crease here. Flip it over. We're just going to do the same thing going this way too. Once you've gotten both of those folded over, what we're going to do is just look here at this left one. And if I kind of turn it around, I'm going to take this edge that you see here, roll it over so that it's even with the edge of the paper, and what you should wind up being able to do is bringing the point that was over here straight over to the side. And I want to do the same thing on this side, so I just kind of flip things over so that I can get the right direction going here. So you should have something that kind of looks like a little doggy if you look at it like this. Now I'm just going to make sure that I kind of pop up the center a little, but I want to just shimmy this around so that I can get everything. Basically you're bringing both of those together in the middle here, and you get these two sides that kind of stick out really far on either side. Now I'm going to just be repeating the creases that I did before. We're going to take that outer edge, and we still have that little pinch crease from before. You can just take the outer edge and line up with that. Flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. And then again, we want to hook these sides down too, so I'll fold those little flaps over. So we've got kind of like a fancy little umbrella design with those pieces that alternate. Now those are all the preliminary creases. I'm just going to open everything up, and just be careful because you've got those little hooks folded over and they can get stuck pretty good, so you don't want to tear your paper. Just go ahead and open everything up. And we're just going to put one last set of preliminary creases in here to make everything kind of fall together well. I'm going to turn my paper over, and I'm going to take, looking at it like a diamond, if we take the bottom tip and fold it towards the center, we just want to create a crease. If you just kind of start it right in the middle, and then we're just going to smooth out from here to the other two creases that you can see right here. They kind of stick up from here at this angle and at this angle too. I don't know if you guys can see them there. So you ideally just want to create a crease between those 2 points. If you don't want to bother with that, you can go ahead and make a solid crease straight across. It's kind of up to you, but since this design is kind of sculpted more, it looks cooler if you can kind of limit unnecessary creases here. So I just go ahead and put that crease right through that point. I'll go around and do this for all 4 sides so I can get the beginnings of this crease I need so that this will collapse the way we want it to. So I get all 4 of these done. And then we're just going to flip it back over again. I'm going to do one last set of creases. You can see I've got those creases marked here, and in some cases I extended a little beyond. It's not a big deal. Now I want to create another set. We're going to make like an octagon of creases here. I'm going to create a crease that goes between these 2 right here. And if you'll notice, it actually lines up nice with these little squares that we have on the sides. So one thing you could do is just kind of fold up on this edge, and you already have those creases there, so just go ahead and push down on that and then poke just right here in the middle. And then from there you can smooth out to those 2 creases that you'll see here again, this time on the orange side. You can see the little creases there. And so you can see we've created kind of a finished edge there to the octagon on the side. Just go around and do this for all 4 sides. So again, just kind of using that crease that's already there to help you along so that you can do this. Now, you know, you might wind up accidentally making a whole crease, or even, you know, these are faint creases as it is. Don't worry about that. We're just trying to get the main part of the crease going there for sure, right there in the middle. And the more clear you can make these creases, then the easier things kind of fall together later. So you really want to make sure you're making good creases here on this part. So I get all of that, and then I'm just going to go ahead and fold everything back to that little umbrella shape I had before. So as a reminder, I'm just going to fold in half into a big triangle. We're going to follow the creases we've made. I'm going to fold over. You could flip it over and fold over again. Make sure that those little side tabs fold up on each side. Open it up again from the middle and shimmy it around. Over, flip it over, fold here. So we're just returning all those creases we've made from before so that we can get back to this nice little like umbrella shape with those 4 points. Now if I kind of look at everything from the underside, and we're going to kind of treat the peak there as the base, and I want to just kind of delicately hold it in my left hand, you can kind of open things up and see that there's 4 sides to this shape. We have this frame that we've created on the side here from those creases that we made before. And if I pinch in on those, I can bring them towards the center, creating an edge, and you should have this nice little bit of flap that sticks up here. Now, there isn't anything that's super like sharp about these folds. You're just sort of pinching them into the center to kind of feel the shape here. And then just kind of make sure you've got all 4 of those sides bending the right way. And this is where using thicker paper certainly works a little easier because it doesn't get so smushy on you. But ideally you want to be able to pinch from the sides so that you can kind of get this feel for everything coming into the center so that you can make everything kind of disappear with that space in the middle. Now kind of keeping that shape, and you, like I said, you just kind of hold it in your left hand as you work. And this part can be a little tricky, but what we want to do is take these little flaps that we have here and we're going to tuck them into the parts that we have. So for example, I have this nice little guy here and he's opened up so that I have that flap sticking out. And over here I still have the part folded over, which is good because I want to just focus on this part, not the upper part. What I want to do is try to bring this flap over into that side. And when you bring it over, you should be able to tuck it inside there and create this nice smoothed edge. And once you get that kind of slid in there, you can kind of even hold it with your fingers to kind of pinch it off. And then we're just going to kind of go around and try to do this for all 4 of these sides. So make sure everything kind of comes into that center that we had created before. Get this part tucked in. And sometimes it can be a little tricky because sometimes the paper part here won't separate into the seam that you need it to, so just try your best to kind of keep it going there. If you need to, you can use like pencil or a small tip to kind of find that point again as you're working your way around. But you want to try to got 3 here, and then we're just going to get the last one. Now this can be really tricky to get, especially the last 2 here, so try to have some patience as you're working. So I'm really close here. I've got 3 of the 4. And really, if you can get to this point and then just do the last one, that's then the key to kind of getting everything secured. So I'll just go ahead and try to slide that in. And you can get your fingers underneath here to kind of hold things in place as you're working. Once you kind of get that, then it's just a question of sort of cradling everything in your hands to get to that point where all 4 of those flaps interlace together into the middle. So this is sort of the finished shape, and it's just a delicate connection down here. And like I said, this is really because I'm using just origami paper that doesn't really like to hold very well down there. But you don't want to glue anything because you want to be able to create a little hole down here that you can stick something into so you can create a spinning top if you like when you're done with this. I'm going to just tell you guys really quick the dimensions of this so that you know how big it is. It's about 7.5 centimeters long, and I'd say in terms of width, it's about 5 centimeters wide. You can really make this in so many different sizes and have a lot of fun with it, depending on the kind of paper you're using and those kinds of things. But you get the basic shape here, and then I'll show you guys really quick. This is, like I said, the one I made with regular origami paper, and you can see how it kind of has a tendency to sort of open up down there at the bottom and not really stay so secured. I made the same kind of shape obviously here with some tanto paper, which is a thicker origami paper, and you can tell it's really holding its shape a little better than the origami paper does. So I definitely recommend trying to use some thicker paper if you can. Let me show you guys how this works then with this little thicker design. You want to get something that's really round and smooth to serve for the stick that you'll put this on so that this will spin the way it's supposed to. You don't want to use anything like those disposable chopsticks that they have with Chinese food because it's too square. But if you can use like I know this is a stupid thing to show you guys with, but I just happen to have this ink that was sitting around, so it was nice and smooth and not too big. Like if you try to stick like a regular pen in here, it'll be almost too fat and it might cause your model to fall apart. So we're just going to slide this into the hole there, and of course try not to make everything pop open when you do this. And your pen can actually go up a little farther. You could kind of see, what kind of space you have there, but you should be able to get it kind of going in there, and then with a little bit of air it'll spin really fast and it looks really cool. So let me kind of see if I can film it and show you guys. It's just such a pretty design and makes such a really neat action kind of top design that you can really have a lot of fun with lots of different paper designs. I think it just looks so pretty, like a little diamond jewel too, to just have as a basic sort of model design too, whether you want to make it spin around or not. But that kind of gives you guys the finished Windeggo, which is our design by David Wires. I'll be putting links in the description below so you can see his step-by-step photo gallery of this, along with photos of his work of this design and just all of his other stuff, which is just so fun to look at. So that is our finished project for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.